You can't get the help now.
Not starting out. Oh, there we go. Try that.
Does that work? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're probably wondering why a fat... As I was going to say, you're probably wondering why a fat, red-faced, stumbling, 224-year-old housekeeper is here tonight. And I must admit, so am I. I'm not a ghost. I mean, look at me. I'm obviously not a ghost. I can't walk through walls. I know because I've tried. So we'll just have to make the best of it. And looking around, does seem to be you're a rum lot of freeballs, moxies, and jack-o'-dandies. I can see you over there. Yep. But I'm a tolerant woman, known for my benign countenance, and I think we'll get on all right. This dress, I'll have you know, was given to me by my mistress. She's the lady who thinks she's in charge of the household. Of course she isn't. That's me. To be honest, it's more upholstery than high fashion. And it is very, very itchy. That bit at the back where you just can't reach, you can stick under it. The only remedy I've found is rubbing up and down against the wall when it gets really bad. I got married in this dress, and of course there are no walls when you go up to the altar. So I had to make do with the vicar, which surprised him, and it surprised me too. Oh, that's put me off his thread now. The mistress is a well-groomed, well-rigged frigate of a woman, and I must admit, I wouldn't mind one of her cast off. But she wasn't being overly generous when she gave me this dress. It's been worn by at least 2 servants before me, and I think it started life as a bed cover. The apron was a sheet, and I made this cap myself for a pillowcase that the third son of a baronet once slept on. So it's got some problems there. To you, I'm Mrs. Finnegan. To her, I'm Finnegan! Yelled whenever I haven't solved a problem I didn't realise existed. Oh, Finnegan! Why have 7 bedrooms not been made up for the guests who are about to arrive? Because, Mom, this is a 5-bedroom house. Now, I'm not suggesting that she's bottle-headed. But put it this way, if brains were bird poo, I wouldn't need to clean out her cage. She says I'm nosy and have no regard for her privacy. The things that woman writes in her diary, it's a scandal. Mind you, it's not a good read too. She appointed a new butler the other day, and he obviously thinks of himself as a leader of men. And I must admit, he does remind me of Nelson and Napoleon and St. Peter the Apostle. He's short, got one eye, and smells of fish. He had a cheek to challenge me last evening. My dear Mrs. Finnegan, why have I found a half-empty bottle of sherry in your linen cupboard? So I had to explain. It's because you're a nosy snoop, that's why. One of my things I do is give advice. Personal advice of the highest quality. And I'll show you what I mean if I've got the help of 3 volunteers. I don't want anyone being press ganged, not in my watch, just volunteers. That'll be you, you and you, okay? It's very, very easy. I'm going to ask this very attractive young lady in the front. Perhaps not. Now I've got this right this somehow. These are sample questions that I get asked. Could you just read this out in a nice outdoor voice? The people in the cheap seats up there want to hear as well.
Not my phone voice.
Your own voice. What? You've got someone else's voice.
What is the secret of a happy marriage?
I'm very glad you started off with something easy. The secret of a happy marriage is a good sense of humour and a bad memory. My husband is very happily married, but he won't admit it. Now, that very... Oh. Thanks so much. Tori, could you pass that to that lovely girl with the lovely red straps?
I have very delicate skin. What cream should I use?
Good question, actually. Slap on anything that's got arsenic in it. Always works wonders. Probably quite a lot, okay? And now, that gentleman has got the shirt off, which is sort of making me feel a little faint. I'm going to pass that across to you.
How often should I wash my hair?
Oh, well, I'm so glad I got that question. Very important, people get this wrong. If you must, once a year. But what you have to do is brush it for 100 times every evening before you retire. If you put a white sort of coat over your shoulders, you'll be able to collect the debris. You know, dust, soot, broken twigs, dead flies, all that. I found a thimble yesterday, and it wasn't even mine. Now, I have here in my hand a genuine letter from someone in this audience. It was passed to me earlier this evening. She wants to remain anonymous, don't you, dear? I'm very good at keeping secrets, so that's fine. I'll read you what she wrote. Woe is me! I am a spinster of 28 summers, but cannot find a husband. Dear Mrs. Finnegan, you are my last resort. How will I get a man? I'm very glad she wrote to me, because I have a foolproof, 4-step plan, which I guarantee will work. Number 1, be kind to ugly men. Needs must. Number 2, be kind to ugly women. In the hope that a comparison and will work in your favour. Number 3, be kind to handsome women. There is absolutely nothing wrong with leftovers. And number 4, and this is the clincher, this is the thing to remember. Become exceedingly wealthy. Do all that and you'll get your man. Now, my last piece of advice is directed at all these women in the audience. I want you to pay attention especially. Never, ever throw a cup of tea at a man unless his penis is on fire.